It is said that money is one of the biggest challenges in relationships. However, it's not just the lack of money that causes problems. The role of ego in the handling of money is also capable of challenging, if not destroying, our relationships. Return on investment doesn't have to always be about money. It can be respect, time, communication, or assistance. So if someone cooks for you, you can offer to clean for them. If someone loans you their car, then fill it with gas, wash it, and communicate your gratitude and respect. If someone tithes their time, knowledge, or money to you, or gives you a place to stay, go overboard in trying to return the investment. A little effort, gratitude, respect, responsibility, and communication go a long way. Money is worthless if you haven't treated others with respect, with gratitude, and with kindness. You may actually hit the target of being a millionaire, but you will miss the bullseye of integrity, self-mastery, happiness, and being a good human being. So we ask today, what impact is money and ego having on your relationship? Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 0818-038-4663. When I saw this topic, let me start from Ifewa, actually. As our guest, we have to, we have to celebrate you a little bit. But what was your thoughts? Because, I saw the topic, and to be honest, I rolled my eyes, and I thought, yeah, money, ego. We're going to have an interesting conversation, but, what were your thoughts? How do you, let me ask a direct question. How has money or ego impacted your relationships?
Significantly, okay? So, first of all, I was thinking about data from Western worlds. At least they put out their data. So divorce, money issues are one of the second cause of divorce. So the reason for divorce, and it is really important because our personalities, our spending habits, our attitude to work, ability to earn, and family, it's a whole wide range of issues that, affects relationships. So I think that most of us we make assumptions, but I think I would also like to hear from you that, you're gone far in but I think we make a lot of assumptions and we don't have certain difficult conversations. I feel like now that the burden of bringing in revenue into the home is now being shared between the man and the woman, and there's no that natural assumption that, oh, the man is automatically responsible for X, Y, Z, 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 and then the woman just handles this part. So now that shift is happening, I think that the issue of money would be a major problem unless we're able to have very honest conversations and iron things out.
So I feel like you're reading my mind, right? Because when you started to talk about the gender role in relationships, I want to light fire now. Let me see. I'm a bit traditional, okay, and I'm sure that our callers will have my head for this. I really believe that in a relationship, I was where I was. You crossed the street. You said hello. Please, don't look at me. If your pockets can carry it, let's go. Don't expect me to add to it. This shift you've talked about, it's real. It's happening today. Mm-hmm. Men now are having conversations with women saying, what are you bringing to the table?
Absolutely.
So what is your view, Norma, on this? I don't want us to speak too much on gender, but I think it's very important in this conversation that we're having, that is there a role gender plays? What is your viewpoint in terms of money and ego? Because we know the male ego is
it's a big one.
Well, thank you, Uti, for putting me on the hot spot.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Well, I believe, okay, so I don't want to focus on any gender in particular, but people are who they are. Mm-hmm. And that's just the way. I've forgotten the person who said this. He said, when people show themselves the first time, believe them.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. I think it was Oprah. I think I saw that video.
Them,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people are a product of different things. They came from they're product of the family that they were raised up in. They come from a society. That's why they say when you see a Nigerian out there, you know that's a Nigerian, right? And then the emotional experiences that they go through in life. So these are things that inform the person that you're coming in contact with. So any two people who come together and say, oh, we want to begin to connect and see a future together, and they are not able to come to terms or have conversations that begin to, I know sometimes people pretend so for a period, and that's why sometimes they say give some things time so that it begins to reveal the real truth in itself, right? So when people begin to have conversations, you can ask questions and it will inform you about the values, the person, who the person is, how they see things. So when you have conversations around money, what do they think? So some people come from the school of thought that says, oh, the two of us have to bring something to the table, which is good. You know, that's their perspective. Maybe the exposure that they have in life is that, oh, I saw mom working hard, I saw dad working hard, and they came together and they made this work. While some others are coming from school of thought where it says, oh, the man is the head, so he goes out, go do this, and that. The truth of it is that the two people have to know what are they bringing to the table. And no two situations are the same. So what works for you does not necessarily have to work for me. You need to and that's a mistake that a lot of people make. So you see other couples, it seems like things are rosy around. Can't you see what this person is doing? Or, you know, what are you doing? You don't know the perspective or the agreements that they've come to terms with. And these are key aspects especially when it comes with money. Because if you don't understand the perspective, when the sparks start showing up, it can be catastrophic. So it's important that communication, honest communication, talk about some of these things that usually will bring issues. Because money reveals the behavior sometimes. What's someone's understanding about money? For me, it could be, oh, jaye all the way. So we go spending. While somebody else, or, you know, there's one person who is a prudent one and he's cautioning and saying, we have to save, we have to keep something aside, we have to do this or the other. When the two people have an understanding, then they're able to work out something that works uniquely for their relationship.
Absolutely. Making sure that your values align is so key. So I'd like to just step back a little bit, Issy, from the romantic man-woman, husband and wife relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend. Let's even talk about it from a friend perspective. In Nigeria today, let me speak for Lagos. You go out, everybody's swinging Gucci, swinging Prada, swinging their Mercedes-Benz key. I want to talk about money and ego from the perspective of friendships. I see a lot of competition. I see a lot of, you have, so I must have. What's your view on that?
Okay. First, let me go on the context of ego. When you have ego, it means self-esteem. And that self-esteem is not about, there's a difference between self-esteem and pride. Pride is being satisfied with who you are or what you have. But ego is about seeking validation from someone else, being in control. So when you start swinging those keys, what comes to mind first is, I'm better than you. I have control over you. I have control over you. You're not as good as I am. That means, you know, ego comes into play. So humility is far off when you're interacting with people like that. And what you need to understand with people like these is that they seek validation from what people actually think about them. It's not about what they think about themselves. So there is a lack of confidence in it, is based on what they have. That's what they use to actually seek validation from people. Now, we have also individuals who have, we're not talking about relationships. We're talking about individuals who have friends and they go on a date. They sit down and they eat. After having lunch or dinner, they say, "Oh, don't worry, I'll pick the check. How much is it?" You know, without even thinking. No matter what the amount is, they wouldn't even ask. They would like to go to a posh restaurant or something and, you know, do some, you know, schwa stuff, and before you know it, the bill comes, and they know they don't have that amount in their pocket. They know they can afford to pay for it, but because of they're seeking some sort of validation from the other person, what would they do? They might even use their whole salary to pay for it. So
okay, I see where you're coming from now. So that drive,
ego plays a huge role in that aspect as well. So friendship is, ego is about self-esteem, but is veered towards negative and not the positives. Yes.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I find when I think about these things, I think there's a cultural element to it as well.
Absolutely.
The way we validate people. You know, somebody once said to me that, oh, depends on the car you are driving. It depends whether they will just open the gate or they'll come out and ask you, who are you looking for?
I saw that happen yesterday.
See?
Right in Lekki, I was standing and waiting for someone, and we had mixed up our venues, and I saw that happen. So there are some cars that will come,
and they
posh,
throw open the gates.
and then they throw open the gates. And then the other one, the gate is locked, and then they come out like, okay, where's your reservation? Who are you looking for? That kind of thing. It's
and you know, for me, that cultural element, I think it even drives the issue of ego. So where you are talking about pride. So I may not have even had a problem, but the day it happens to me, then you start to think to yourself, oh, so I'm actually being assessed by the material stuff. Now money becomes important. The wrong side of ego, because I mean, ego could either be self-esteem or it could be self-importance. So the wrong side of it starts to come out, and you're now being forced to deal with these things that would not necessarily have actually factored in your mind. And I think that for me, when I think about Nigeria, that's a lot of our problem.
Majorly, that's our problem, because, you know, everything that we do in Nigeria has to do with money, who you be, who is your father, who is your mother, what school did you go to? What school did you go to? What have you attained in future? Prestige. It's all about prestige at the end of the day. So there is no human face to it, no empathy to it. So why wouldn't you have the crime rate in the country today escalate? Why wouldn't you have people going out of their ways to, you know, steal money? Why wouldn't you have people going out of their ways to commit rituals and, you know, go about all the different bad vices that they're supposed to, you know, ignore? And this still stems from the fact that we do not ask them, where did they get their monies from? How did they get these monies? We just say, oh, you come with Range Rover Sports, correct man. You don't gather money. So, or you don't hammer. Let me use our usual phrase. So things like this are the things that actually, you know, sets the ball rolling for, you know, ego to, you know, thrive. And the society doesn't frown at people who have these monies and they spend it. Look at when you go to a club, for example. I haven't been to a club for like forever, but the key thing is this, that when you go to a club and you see those Yahoo boys, you know, or what's that word? When they're spending money and they bring that rocket that they used, you know, I don't know,
champagne with the
champagne, yes, with the, and they bring the bucket and they, you know, dance to them. Everybody will say, I don't arrive, you know. That ego, like I'm popping champagne or champagne in a club. That thing is what actually makes them feel that, oh, I will go back and I will catch another maga and I will get more money.
So well, it's a catch-22.
Oh, yes.
It still goes down to values. I mean, the situation has been on a constant decline over time because no one is asking questions anymore. I remember back, well, I don't want to be old school. I didn't say, oh, back in the days. No, I don't want to go there. But really, there were times where people used to ask questions.
Yes.
There were times when, with all of your money, you would come and people will will spit on your face and say,
Exactly.
go away with you, your money, your cars, perish.
Nothing to do with
we
you.
don't have nothing to do with you. But over time, all that has changed. Now, you know, online, you see people looking like the life, so to speak, and these are what young people constantly see. So when, you know, the more you feed off all of that around
Narrative.
you,
Yeah.
it begins to inform you about the way or the path that you want to follow. So some people begin to feel bad. Oh, I don't have this money, so how do I get it? By all means, so that
Precisely.
I can show off either to my girlfriend or to my, you know,
To seek
someone I'm in a
validation.
relationship with.
Yes.
And then sometimes the you know, what in reality, so okay, so sometimes they, let's even say that they make money legitimately, right? And then you get into a relationship and then somehow things go wrong. And then you can't be as liquid as you used
were.
to. It brings frustration. All of a sudden, you are no longer who you are. It takes away that definition of who you are, and then you begin to feel insecure. Sometimes you see irritation, you know, people just lash out, and you even see people become violent on account of not being it. So the values, when I go back to values, it's very important. The place that forms you is what will inform you in your up times and your down times.
Exactly.
If you are informed thinking that, oh, this money, you have to get it by all means. Trust me, when you are in your down times, you would do anything to get it.
Yeah.
But the same way, like I would use myself as an example. I've seen good times, you know, you're just comfortable, you have all your need and all of that. And then I've also seen lack. Right? Now, somebody would see you and think that, oh, you have it all figured
all
out. But you can't
together.
even know when I don't have money.
Exactly.
Because I have learned part of my values is to be content, you know, and look for ways to earn that money. You know, in
Legitimately.
such a way that I'm adding value. So money is not about my pocket is empty. It's about I need to create value that can add on, commiserate, you know, value to
Define
myself
wealth in a
in
different
terms
way
of
from financial.
money, right? So when people reorient themselves, it goes back to the mind. If we have the culture in Nigeria, we have to deliberately, I keep going back to these words,
Yes.
deliberately and intentionally go back to teaching some of these things.
So just hold that thought on value, because you just hit something that I really wanted to touch on. We're going to take a very quick break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. If you've just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out, and we're asking what is the impact of ego and money on relationships. So do you have a personal story or would like to share with us? Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation via SMS or WhatsApp to 0818-038-4663. Our phone line is also now open, so please call us on 0702-500-7749. So I had just interrupted you, Noma, when you started to talk about values, because it almost seems like it's a negative thing, like money can't have a positive effect on relationships. So I started to think, actually, how can we negate this negative value of money and how it impacts people? And I think you just defined it perfectly, that when our values are aligned around money, so I'm content, you're content. If you're swinging your car key today, I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you.
Genuinely.
It doesn't diminish what I
Genuinely.
have.
Exactly.
Right? In a relationship, a wife wants to go to an expensive school. The husband wants to go to a, you know, maybe not so expensive school. So you find that maybe for me, it's like, it's actually the disconnect, the misalignment
Absolutely.
of those values that are,
Absolutely.
you know, impacting it. So when you were speaking to that, I just thought, now we're switching the conversation now,
Yeah.
moving closer to the solution side
Because
of it.
two people who are coming from totally
Different
backgrounds. If they don't have those conversations, their life experiences, so it's going to show up. Even if you don't deal with it in your dating relationship, if you eventually get married, it's going to show up, and it's broken. Money is a beautiful thing and very, very important.
Exactly.
You know
for
what?
things to go right, But having an informed perspective about money makes it even better.
They're better. Yeah.
So that when you both are going through the motions, whether good or bad, you have an understanding. You know, even if that you don't have money now does not mean that this state is going to be forever.
State, yeah.
We're now going to rub minds on how to come out of this situation. What
Together.
values are we creating to get ourselves out of this situation?
Yeah. Exactly.
But when people think that it's just a means to an end, right? So I just have it and I just spend it, or I must have it or I just be looking at it, then it's not going to be of any use to you. And it's going to be destructive because now the focus is on the money and not the relationship
Yeah.
that you have.
Exactly.
So while you're building that relationship together, have those conversations that begin to align your values to help you for the hurdles ahead, because they're definitely going to come. I remember sometimes, you know, like I say, most times I'm like the driver pressing on the accelerator, and then my husband is the brakes. So I see something, I'm like, let's go, you know, and all of that. And he's like, hold on.
Pause.
Before we go, what is the objective? In fact, I have to write out like
Proposal.
a proposal
feel you.
to tell him that, oh, this has to be done, or this is the perspective. Sometimes he brings on a project and says, okay, let's look at this. What do you think? How are we going to, I mean, it's a good thing, but how are we going to be able to solve it? Where's the money going to come from? What can we do today? So now it's like a think tank, right? So we're talking and we're having those conversations. If we didn't start early enough, it was going to be a problem, because it's like go, but you're not even seeing all the other loopholes. Your own is just, oh, let's go there, but what if you get into a huddle? What are you going to do? So you've not thought it through completely, right? So it's very, very important, and I kind of emphasize it. Anybody saying that money is bad is a liar. It's very, very important, definitely.
So if you were going to say something.
No, there was just, when she talked about how we look at it as if money is a bad thing, and I just remembered something that trended on social media some time ago, that someone said, oh, money does the work and love takes the credit. No, that's something that money is supposed to enhance.
Okay. If you were, just hold on one second. I believe we have Paul from Benin. Hi, Paul, can you hear us? Hi, Paul, are you there? Can you hear us? Okay. If you were, please go ahead. I'm sure Paul
Okay, no,
will
it was just a short contribution. You know, how money is not a bad thing at all. It's supposed to enhance, help us express what we have, help us fulfill the dreams we have, help us, you know, without money, there are very little things that you can show someone, gestures, even kind gestures, you know, and that's why we say, oh, blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah.
So how will you help someone if you don't have anything?
Okay.
And I think that's...
So let's hold on. I think Paul is back. Hi, Paul, can you hear us now?
Yes. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us. Let's hear what you have to say.
Oh, my name is Paul. I'm calling from Benin. I hear you people discussing about issue when you have the money to go the privilege to prove to them the love you have. It's not when something like is that they will come to celebrate you. No, I just like to make you understand. It's really, really good when you prove the truth for the life before your death. Hello, ma?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Okay.
So, I was going to say this, that, you know, somebody actually, when they were talking about money, somebody said, money is good. The root of money is actually the one that actually
is evil.
That is evil. You know, that's the one that's actually causing problems. When we love money, it's good to love money. But when you now idolize it, that is where we now have our key problem, which is what we have today in Nigerian society, where we give cognizance and recognition to those who have it and look down on those who do not really have it. And there is also something that ego also does. For some people who feel that they have arrived and they have self-validation from people, they look down on people who do not have.
So hold that thought, Issy. I think we have Joe from Abuja. Hi, Joe. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing.
Good evening. Thank you. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, what I have to say is about the issue of value. Value is very important in relationship. And another issue is that some men lie to women a lot. The reason why I'm not married up to now is because I prefer telling people the truth. And this generation of women don't like the truth. When you tell them the truth, many of them will run away. They prefer people who have flashy car and other things. They don't know that life is not all about money. That's the issue.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I agree that life is not all about money. Joe hit the nail on the head. But let's be fair. It's like I tried to say early on. Maybe the problem now today is that we now don't have a barometer for content. So you can't like have small money and expect that, in every bracket, there is somebody for somebody. But today now, every somebody wants a somebody that is
at the top.
So I think that's what Joe is trying to say. Because, to be fair to the male gender, it is getting tougher. Women have such high expectations. Nobody wants to start. I remember a couple of years ago seeing a picture of Basket Mouth and his wife when they first met. And I saw the picture and I thought, who's going to do this now? Maybe except if you're in university and you meet. But even now, the university girls they're not checking for their, their mates.
They're not interested.
They're not interested. So,
Chidinma type of girl.
Well, so that culture thing, it comes back to the fact that we've, over time, eroded the values that allows people to say, you know what, I can be content. Because I shared a couple of days on the show, I said, look, I got to a point where I said to myself, why is you having XYZ problem? I had to catch myself. So even me who is thinking and sensible is able to see that, you can easily get distracted in today's Nigeria. That we have to actually start to cultivate that values, having the right values, being content, asking questions. This thing that you talked about, of seeing people with money on social media, flaunting it all over Instagram with no explanation. I'm not asking for your life story. But when Dangote says he has money today, you know why, whether you agree or you disagree. But at least it's clear.
You know this, yes.
But then when somebody else comes out and says, I was taxed 100 and something million, what business are you doing? Or is FIRS just checking for you like they're checking for multi-choice? I don't know. So that culture, how can we start to turn that ship around?
Uchi, it starts right here, right now.
Yes.
Like parenting, for example. The parents of today, what are we doing? What are we telling our kids? What are they seeing? A lot of times I tell my kids, you know that anything I tell you, I do. True or true? They say true. True or true. They say true. But the truth is that I'm trying to be that example that they see.
Exactly.
Gone are the days when you ask people, who is your role model? They say, my dad, my mom. I've seen some then in the days of Twitter. I saw some, tweets about some people. I think I saw one about a young girl, and I saw another one about a young boy who he had just finished his degree and done his NYC. He said he took his certificate back home to the village.
So hold that thought. I think we have Ikechukwu from Lagos. Hi, Ikechukwu. Hi, can you hear us?
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let's hear what you have to say, please.
I am happy listening to what people are talking. So I want to make my own contribution.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, ladies. I sincerely want to tell you people that the present day Nigeria is money all through.
Absolutely.
It's money all through. Check through higher institutions now, universities everywhere. Young people between the ages of 18 to 25, they are in Bitcoin. Some of them are doing Yahoo. Because why? The society is purely in money. What they hear is money.
Yeah.
I am a father that is more than 60 years. I also have my children in university. A father in Nigeria today is the local government chairman in his house. Every husband is a local government chairman. You provide your water. When any person is sick in your house, you go to private hospital, the schools, private schools, everything, you take care of it. Their children are watching, they are looking at you. They know that, I still remember my daughter telling me that she cannot come from a comfortable home it is now and married to a man where they will live in one room apartment. Are you getting my point?
Yes, we are, but I think the line is breaking up a bit.
Relationship with money. You need to know that today, relationships are not actually stand. 20% of relationships may manage to stand when there is not enough money. Because the reality is that money is necessary in a home. Imagine what it looks like when your children are back from school because of no school fee. And they are crying for food in the house because they are no food. And the landlord is giving quick notice who is not a tenant. The ones must break loose and get sad and start to abuse the husband and talk anything, unthinkable things to the wife. Because when it is not helpful, I am a Christian. When a man is unable to provide for his relative, especially his immediate family, and he has denied that is once an unbeliever. So the woman has to accuse the husband for failing to take care of them. Because of all these things you speak, it is very clear that relationship must go hand in hand with money.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your submission. Thank you for calling. He has said so much. And I mean, it's some very hard truths there.
Yes.
Money causes problems in relationships. If you as a couple, you come home, your children can't eat for whatever reason. He's raised some important points there. Sometimes I feel like, Nigeria is hard these days, so it's not even about planning right. You know, you can go in today to work and the job is gone, and your business can.
A lot of people lost their jobs.
You can have a
last
business
year.
and tomorrow there's a policy.
Policy just changes and everything just goes
that closes you down.
It does change quite a lot. But I mean, if we come back now to this, we've talked about parenting being a solution, because the only way that we can at least start to turn this ship around, because everything in Nigeria is about money. If there's anything that our last caller just said that was nail on the head, everything in Nigeria is about money. We talk money. You know, we've gotten to the point where nobody even asks questions. As you are spending money, let's just spend this with you. Do you know how he got it?
Don't care.
We don't care. We just speak about, we're focused
it's solving
on money.
our problem.
Yes, so we don't even look past that point. So you have girls today that are dating guys. What does he do? I don't know. But he's giving you all the money you want, so you don't care. It even feeds back to the parents, because even some parents, you don't know what your child is doing, but the child is giving you money. You don't ask questions. So, I think we have Okay from Enugu. Hi, Okay, are you there?
Yes.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Let's hear what you have to say.
Thank you very much.
Please go ahead.
Yes.
I think you may need to turn the volume of your TV down.
It's interesting listening to you guys. And you're so young women. But I want to say is that I came back to this country a few years ago, and I consider myself a middle class here. But a lot of the women that I'm seeing as rich, I'm wondering, can you tell me what's rich in this country? If somebody makes you $5 million a month, consider rich? I don't. Where I came from is considered middle class.
Well, given to
I just want to know.
Okay, so your question is, what's the definition of being rich in Nigeria?
Right. I'm just want to know.
I'm not sure that there's an actual definition, but I think it's different for everybody. So thank you very much for calling. I'm sure in the discussion we'll try and find an answer for you. So
okay. For me, I think another way we can, seek solutions to this problem. She has harped on one, which is our values. There should be a shift in our values, and it starts from the stable. It starts from parenting, and it also starts from having the conversation, not just on the table, but with individuals. You have to, have that mind shift or mindset shift. So we also look at respect. Even if the person doesn't have enough money, you should accord that person that same respect, because you just never know. Because we are all humans. The first thing we are is humans before we became...
We must have humanity.
Yes, before we became rich or poor, we are humans. So first things first, we have to accord that, respect to, you're talking to another human being. Even if it's your gate man, regardless, even if it's your gate man, regardless of who he is or what he does for a living, because respect is paramount. Then gratitude. We have to have gratitude. If the man opens the door for you, you say thank you. If it's your security man, you say thank you. You have to show gratitude to whoever you have around you, because you just never know. Life is so fragile.
These little things matter, and because it still goes back to values, because we're losing those little things that made people human.
I think that changes the narrative, really, because if I don't have money, and people still treat me with respect. It starts to devalue money in my eyes.
Exactly.
But if I don't have money and people treat me, less than, with disdain, and then you see somebody right across from you who may not be better than you from your point of view,
or because they have
everybody's money. Exactly. And you start to think to yourself, the thing that is important is money. So we start to find ways to remove these issues
that
from the
narrative
fore.
of money is the main thing.
Because even dignity of labor, gone are the days that people, you're proud to be what you are doing. You're earning real, as in legitimate money. So we need to go back to those values. It's very important. The more we lose these values, the more we lose our sense of humanity.
I don't even know where we're going to start, because I remember something that happened.
So before you go into that, if we're wrapping up, so I want you to keep it short, but let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, so we have a very long way to go. I went to a banking hall one day. It was one of the private banks, private banking, and they were processing a transaction for me. I went on behalf of my company, or the company I work for, and I wanted to sit just where I thought was a lounge. And they said, no, I couldn't sit there.
VIP.
The VIP lounge.
I was like, oh my God. But the bank, I was the only one
there.
I was there. It was early in the morning, and I was to do a quick transaction. I felt really, really bad. And then I asked her, because I will always ask. I was like, why can't I say? I said, it's for HNP.
HNI. Okay.
I didn't even know. I was like,
you didn't know what it stood for.
High network individual.
High network individual. I was like, really?
So unfortunately, ladies, we have run out of time. It's been a wonderful conversation. Great to have you on the show with us, Ifeyiwa. Thank you so much, Noma. Issy, as always, great.
Thank you.
So before we go, do ensure that you follow us on Instagram at @WasteShowAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, we are planning a huge giveaway just to say thank you for watching and believing in the Waste brand. So follow the conversation, do well, and follow us on Instagram, like, share, comment, and invite your friends and family. If you missed today's quote, here it is again. Anytime there is a lot of money or ego involved, people tend to behave badly. So we'll see you tomorrow for another great conversation. Have a great evening.